Good morning, everyone. Okay. Uh, can we go to the next slide? Okay. I just wanted to do a brief introduction because many of you don't know me. I guess it's because as a blogger, I expect to be read and not be heard. So, but there are times when you really need to just to bring across some points. Background. Okay, this is my life. Previous to what I'm doing now, I was really a left-brainer. Next slide, please. I'm a CPA by profession. I worked for 15 years for the top accounting firm as an auditor, an IT auditor, and an IT consultant. And during that time, I was sent on scholarship to the Wharton School to take my master's in international business, specializing in strategic planning. And after I left the firm, I joined a bank as head of their corporate planning division. So, well, I really think that, I'm okay with somebody calling me blogger lang, but I'd like to, okay lang ako with that, but I'd really like to emphasize that it's not just me. A lot of bloggers are well qualified. Next slide, please. But a few years after I left the bank, I was a full-time mom. I decided to stay home, take care of my 4 kids. And that's when I discovered blogging in 2006. And since then, I've been using my right brain more than my left. Next slide, please. So now this is what I am. I'm a work-from-home mom with 4 kids, a blogger since 2006. I consider myself a social media geek because I'm online from the time I wake up to the time I sleep. And about the time I discovered blogging, I also discovered yoga. So that's what I do. Next slide, please. Just to let you know, I am not a political blogger. If you look at all my blogs, nothing is political. Next slide. I talk about parenting, about life. Next slide. I talk about yoga. I have a yoga blog. Next slide. I have a tech blog. Next slide. And I have a lifestyle blog. And there's another thing. I don't like to call myself a citizen journalist. When I hear somebody call me a journalist, I kind of cringe because I have a lot of respect for the real journalists who are in this room, who have all the training, and I don't have any of that. So I'd rather call myself a citizen advocate. Okay, next slide. Our coming into what I do now really was by accident. Sometime in 2009, a good friend of mine, Uymatiao, who's known as Mom Blogger, approached me and said, "Would you like to get together? Let's do some voter education." And I said, "Okay, how do we do this?" And she said, "Let's just use our blogger network. Let's get together and just put out how to vote and who not to vote for and how to choose a candidate." So sabi ko, sige. And we started out that way, thinking that all we were going to do was write stuff online about how to vote. But we started getting chance to interview some of the people running, not only for president, but for vice, for senator, for mayor. And here's a picture of some of the people who we were able to interview. And all of these was done through the web. We were live streaming. There were no cuts, nothing. Next slide. Now, during the elections, we actually went out on the field, and we're a very informal group. We were just using our own personal load just to be able to communicate. We were live streaming. We would go on unlimited just to be able to live stream. And we actually went to some schools, like we visited Francisco Benitez Elementary School down there. We were able to, together with Tonio Cruz, we were using Juan Vote hashtag at that time, and we were given a slot on GNN. And some of you may be familiar with the War Room. I was very excited about visiting the ABS-CBN War Room. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance. Howie, maybe next election you'll invite me to your War Room. But so basically, this was what we were doing, and this was not planned. A lot of us we were just doing this on the fly. We were just going with the flow. Next slide. When the elections ended, Noemi and I and some of the others, we got together and said, "Are we going to disband?" And we felt, well, we've come this far. We've already established some networks. Why don't we do something and follow those who were elected and find out if they're going to hold to their promises? So we transformed BlogWatch into a citizen watchdog. We became even more active on Twitter and Facebook, and we began engaging not only civil society, but we also engaged whoever was there from government, even showbiz celebrities, because they have a lot of influence. And this was across a wide range of socio-political issues. And until now, we continue to attend fora because we are really just citizens and we have to learn about a lot of things. And as much as possible, we try to attend forums wherever we would learn more. Next slide. This is the BlogWatch site. It's hosted by the Philippine Online Chronicles. And basically, I'm one of the contributors in this site. And we've had this up since prior to the elections. And basically, the bloggers who write for this site either have commentaries or feature articles. Next slide, please. So for me, social media is now the new conversation platform of citizens. This is where everyone talks. Nobody uses the landline anymore. My children don't use the landline. All of them are on Twitter. And one time, I got a Twitter message, "Mom, dinner is served." So that's how my kids communicate, and that's where I'd like to be with them. Now, but then beyond just being that kind of conversation, how do you now turn this kind of communication into a social good? Next slide. As part of BlogWatch, we've tackled and engaged with people on a lot of socio-political issues. Here are some of them: the Freedom of Information Bill, the RH Bill, Cybercrime Prevention Act, which we're still discussing at the moment, pro-breastfeeding, the plagiarism issue, the Corona impeachment trial, and disaster preparedness. And this is where my being a CPA, I think, came into being, because I thought I had left that world behind. But when the Corona impeachment trial was going on, and I could see on Twitter that a lot of people did not understand the accounting issues, I actually came in and just through 140 characters, I was trying to lend some additional information on how to interpret the numbers, how to read the numbers and all that. By the way, the former Chief Justice was a colleague of mine in that firm. Okay, whoops. This is one of the more recent ones, and this started sometime back in May. I was just looking at Twitter, and I saw a lot of people who were talking about EPAL. So this was not something planned again. This just came out. And when I saw that people were tweeting about EPAL, I immediately sent a direct message to Noemi and said, "Noims, mukhang ang daming galit sa EPAL. Do you think we can provide some kind of venue on BlogWatch here on Twitter for them?" She said, "Sige, let's put up the hashtag." So that very night, we put up a hashtag, which is Apple Watch. And we really didn't know where it was going to go. So as you can see now, this is where we are. And I think we really don't have to expound on that. But we're very happy that it's the citizens who took on. This is not us anymore. It's already the citizens. Next slide. So here's my wish list. I wish that more of the LGUs and government agencies would take to social media, especially if their agency has to do with public service. I also wish that greater cooperation and collaboration would happen among government agencies, NGOs, media, and the private sector, and that there would be a wider engagement between government and citizenry. This is really their ear to the ground. If they listen more to the citizens, they will really know what the citizens want. Next slide. For those who are on the net now and listening, here is really how a citizen can engage. Know who to follow. So you've got all these government agencies, legislators, news personalities online. Follow them. Don't be afraid to engage a known personality. There are some people who are just lurkers and, like Mrs. Drilon here, just send her a tweet and once in a while, you'll get a reply back. So follow the burning issues. Learn from the experts. And if you're an expert yourself, don't be ashamed to share your own expertise. Learn to disagree agreeably. No trolling. Persevere in your advocacy. It works. That's a personal experience. Next slide. So these are really the tools of the trade. Nothing fantastic about that. These are really things that we have day to day. Use your smartphones, digicams, laptops, your internet connection, and put them on Twitter, Facebook, etc. There are apps also for them right now. Okay, next slide. Some people ask me, why do you do what you do? I mean, you're already in this stage of your life where you're supposed to be retiring already and all that. And I thought about that. Oh, nga, why am I bothered, no? But when I think about it, as a mom, this is what I would say. When the welfare of her children and their future is at stake, next slide, never cross a mother. All right? The mother is nurturing, but the mother will fight tooth and nail for her children. Okay, next slide. If you forget everything I said today, just remember this. This is the takeaway thought. Social media technology empowers us, the citizens. It gives us a voice and connects us like never before to the powers that be. If we use it responsibly, it will be a powerful tool to change for the social good. Next slide. Ana Oposa said this, the Apple Watch movement shows that if the people will lead, the leaders will follow. Ang galing niyo. And this came from just a Twitter follower. The next slide. She says, our generation would always be thankful for having people like you. We all love the Philippines and we want change. Now, how can you as a citizen not respond to something like that? Okay, next slide. In 1839, Edward Bulwer Lytton said, the pen is mightier than the sword. In 2012, I say, the tweet is mightier than the sword. Thank you. Chat me up at Philippine Beat.